Hey, what is up YouTube? This is the Merman Master coming at you guys from the Team Time Riders YouTube channel, and I wanted to thank you guys so much for watching my deck profile. I have been meaning to profile this deck for a very, very long time. And I've been sitting on this build for ages, and just like school and work and internships and stuff like that have gotten in the way of me getting home to actually be able to film this stuff for you. So, I was very excited to be able to do that. But, one of the questions that I got after I played in the tournament was how I would play this deck, or how I would teach this deck to someone who was playing it anew. And as I said, this deck is purely about consistency. This is your entire 15 card extra deck. No link monsters, no hand traps, nothing else besides pure Jaden Neos goodness. And my secret, I think, to why the deck worked so well for me is consistency. Consistency is the key player in whether or not you're going to win a duel. And so I'll show you my design philosophy, how I built this deck, and why I think that it's one of the best ways to play Neos pre the new set. So starting things out right now, I'm going to show you guys a couple of combos and sort of teach you a way to play this deck. And yeah, let's get started. So first things first, one of the key cards in this deck that you have here is one copy of, it's your copies of Neos Fusion. Neos Fusion is basically almost any 2 material fusion monster in your extra deck. So you can go Rainbow Neos, Neos Knight, Brave, and then any of your original 6. So this is the toolbox that you have with Neos Fusions, all of the 2 level 1s. And so depending on the situation that you're in, you're going to want to figure out how to do it. But you have to be careful because Neos Fusion should be the last thing that you activate in the turn, because you're not allowed to special summon anything after you activate that card. So you have to look at the situation that you're in, what you're trying to do, and how you can get there. Each one of your monsters has effects. First turn, as I said before, your best card is going to be your Dark Neos because he can negate his own effect and sit on the board, and Neos Fusion will be at least 1 protection from a destruction by battle or card effect during that turn by banishing itself. This can even stop a Solemn from destroying because it's not an activated effect. It's a conditional effect inherent upon the destruction of any Neos or any fusion monster that lists Elemental Hero Neos in its name. So you have that there. And so you can go for that. And I'll show you like some of the other cards I used. If I need to bounce one of my opponent's monsters, assuming that it doesn't have protection from targeting, and it's like an extra deck monster or something, Grand Neos is a great play to make. So your opponent's got a board of non-targetable stuff. They have like a Crystal Wing that's effect has already been negated or something like that. I'm just throwing out random examples here, but with some of the modern cards, you can use Grand Neos for that ability. Flare Neos and Air Neos are your big time attackers. Flare is great for getting over big boards where they have a lot of back row because he gains 400 for every piece of back row that is on the field. And then you combine that together with Favorite Hero and your Neos Fusion, you got a big boy. Same thing with Air Neos as well. If you've got the life point disadvantage, that's when Air Neos comes in. But the reason why Flare Neos is here is because there are situations where Air Neos is not going to be the best card in that situation. Like if you're 8,000, or you got some early damage in, you might need Flare Neos to close out the game. So Flare Neos was the card that I summoned the most, and he's ironically a card that almost nobody runs in any kind of competitive Spacian build, and for the life of me, I can't figure out why. Aqua Neos is kind of also different. I ended up summoning him and not using his effect against the Dragon Link player, but Aqua Neos is just super, super good for like ditching cards out of your opponent's hand, but the problem is that it destroys things in your opponent's hand. So that is like another kind of issue that it has, but the Aqua Dolphin is just super great because you summon it first turn, ditches a hand trap out of your opponent's hand, and you can just go off on your plays from there because you get the knowledge of your opponent's hand and you get the hand trap out of their hand in the event that they have one, so you can know whether to go off. And Glow is the most interesting one. You can pop a face-up monster spell or trap, and then So you take a look at the field, and I like to summon this guy when I have an opponent that I'm facing where they have a face-up spell card, like usually a continuous spell, like the Eldland Kingdom or the Dragon's Ravine, or something that's just like doing nothing on the field. You know, even against Clifford way back in the day, this guy was really good. You just use it because that's the best effect. Allows you to attack directly when you pop a face-up spell. So in those kinds of situations, that's when I summon it. So you see here, very, very toolboxy plays. Of course, as you know, like Brave and Neos Knight and Rainbow Neos, they stick around. But sometimes like Rainbow Neos is more for those like late game plays, or if you know that you have game on board, you know, he's the really good play. So I'm gonna show you like a couple of combo plays here centered around some different cards. So what you wanna do is you're trying to focus on getting out, you know, some of your original Neos fusions, because those guys have effects that'll help you out. So one of my favorite combos that I have here to do is, it has to do with Flare Neos, but this could be with any Neos. You have Neos Fusion and you have your favorite hero. So first you activate Neos Fusion and you send the associated fusion materials from your deck to the graveyard. So of course this time around you'd send your Flare Scarab and you'd send your Neos, okay? And you'd summon out Elemental Hero Flare Neos. Put Neos Fusion in grade where it will protect it. Then you activate your favorite hero, and when you're ready to enter your battle phase, you enter your battle phase, and the effect will activate, allowing you to play your Neo space from your deck. Now, why is this so important? Because Flare Neos, so this is what kind of won me a game, is this 2-card combo here has your, you have your favorite hero and your Neos Fusion. Favorite hero will boost by 400. It's like, assume your opponent's got an empty field with no spell and traps. This is 800 plus another 500 from Neo space, plus another 2,000 from favorite hero's effect. Gets your Flare Neos up pretty high. But favorite hero also protects Flare Neos from destruction by, from targeting by card effect, and Neos Fusion will protect it once from destruction by battle or card effect. And so you've got like a 5,000 to 6,000 attack monster usually in Flare Neos that is that you cannot target or destroy for your opponent. So you get this guy out, you know, that's huge damage on board. So this Neos Fusion and favorite hero combo is one that I really like, and I think is super potent in this deck, especially with a card like Flare Neos. So Flare Neos in many situations is actually more often my game ender than Air Neos is. And Flare Neos did come out very often and wreaked a lot of havoc on the day. The next card that I want to showcase is this one here, guys. Fusion Deployment. Now, the reason why Fusion Deployment is so good is because you can basically use it to grab Elemental Hero Neos directly from your deck. All you have to do is just reveal a fusion monster that has Elemental Hero Neos listed as a material, and you can special summon it. You can also special summon any of the Neo Spacians that you want from your deck as well. Whatever piece you're missing, you can grab it from the deck with Fusion Deployment. And the great thing is, because it locks you into fusions and your entire extra deck is just fusions anyway, it's like this is a free special summon from deck with absolutely no drawbacks. And so you use this together with your Neos cards, and you can use it to summon any number of things. So for instance, you want to go, you open up with a Neo Spacian or something like that in your hand, you can use your Fusion Deployment with that to grab a Neos, and then all of a sudden you've got 2 on field, you've got to play. And so, when you shuffle them back into the deck, that's like a really important play, just to help you out with getting a lot of damage on board in ways that you normally would not be able to. Speaking of Fusion Deployment, it also pairs super well with Wrath of Neos, which I thought about bumping up to 2, but sometimes it can be a little bit inconsistent. It just blows up the whole board, monsters, spells, and traps. So you just combine that together with Neos, or even better, you just have a Prisma, you summon Prisma out with a hero lives, and then you activate Wrath of Neos after you send the Prisma to the graveyard, because you send the Neos to the graveyard as cost. Like, Prisma is just super great to grab out for a free Neos fusion whenever you need it. And then finally, I wanted to demonstrate this guy right here, Keeper of Dragon Magic, who's capable of searching some of your main cards in your deck. You've got your Neos Fusion, you've got your Fusion Deployment, and you've got a Polymerization that it can search out. These 3 cards right here, searchable by this guy here. So super, super helpful in getting you all of the pieces that you need. So I hope this was kind of like a nice primer for how to play this deck. I'm happy to go into more combo-based videos if you guys need them or if you guys want to see them, but just suffice it to say that, you know, the way that I built this deck and how consistent it can be will allow you to steal games from your opponent in a huge way. And I'm super excited for the new stuff to come out, just to kind of see what we can do with the deck from here on out. But this is going to do it for this video here on the combos for this deck, and I'll see you again in test hands. Catch you guys next time. Peace.